Of course, I'm doing a team of the week. I know there was only 2 games. I know there's only 4 teams worth of players to pick between, but it just keeps the memory of those 2 incredible Champions Cup semi-finals alive, doesn't it? And gives us an opportunity to celebrate some of the brilliant individual performances, and some of them with the backdrop of British and Irish Lions selection just around the corner, but also just to get us excited about what should be a mouth-watering Champions Cup final in 3 weekends' time. Bring it on. I'm Tim, this is Egg Chasers. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe, get your comments in down below. Who would you have picked? Speak up for the player that you think deserved it, as well as picking a 23-man squad from the 2 semi-finals. I'm also going to pick a top 3 players of the weekend overall. And that might be the area on this one where there's some particular debate. Who was the best player, or the top 3 players, 3, 2, 1, of the whole weekend and the most influential for their team? I think some of the selections I'll make will be like no-brainers. Some you might disagree, and that's all good. That's what the comments are there for. So let me get stuck in. First off, loosehead prop, number 1, Manny Iogan. He was in the team of the week that I selected a few weeks back after the quarterfinals. He was brilliant then against Castra. He was outstanding against Leinster. And the fact that Northampton's scrum did so well, you know, him up against Tyg Furlong, I mean, that speaks to the rising force. England have got a lot of good loosehead props. I mean, Ellis Genge will probably go with the British and Irish Lions, but then England will still have Beno Ibano, Finn Baxter, Bevan Rodd. I hope there is space for this lad on the plane to Argentina, because he looks like a proper talent. And after Northampton lost Alex Waller, their captain, most caps ever for the club last year, after his retirement, he has properly stepped up again. And on the bench behind him, and it speaks to just what a good weekend Manny Iogan has had. He keeps Cyril Bay on the bench in this fantasy team of the week. I thought in a losing effort, Cyril Bay was excellent, really, really busy around the park, and Toulouse's scrum was probably the one area where they had the edge over Bordeaux. Hooker, and it is Bordeaux's hooker, Maxime Lamotte. I mean, I tell you what, this summer against New Zealand, ordinarily you'd think, oh, that'll be his opportunity. If Piato Malvaca is out injured, it's an opportunity for Lamotte, who's had to wait behind Marchand and Malvaca. The fact is, because the top 4 team finishes so late and he plays at Bordeaux, he probably won't get the opportunity to go to New Zealand. But he is such a class player. And France, I mean, they've got a quality player that they don't even currently need. He is brilliant in the loose, great hands, jackals. The number of times he got over the ball in defence as well. Really, really big performance from Maxime Lamotte. And an excellent one as well from Curtis Langdon, who was busy putting some big shots in defence, and his arrows at line-out time were excellent. It was noticeable that even when they were up a man, Leinster still weren't kicking the ball out because Curtis Langdon, so reliable at the set piece. On the tight head prop side, Ben Tamifuna, he only played 30 minutes, but what a 30 minutes that was. Capped off with a try, an absolute freak of a unit, 150 kilos, a fun bus of a man, and he was jackling. He got a couple of turnovers and a try in half an hour, and shored up what was a creaking Bordeaux scrum. Huge performance from him. On the other side, someone that came on and was, I thought, just really put it about. And it's a shame for Toulouse, because actually scrum time, their front row, probably edged Bordeaux, but that was the only place that Toulouse had the edge. Joel Merkler is so busy. He looks like a giant toddler, a huge man. Big performance. He's on the bench in my team of the week. And it's another Toulouse player in the second row. I thought Alex Coles was excellent for Northampton Saints. I thought Ryan Baird coming off the bench was really good, although he came on in the back row, didn't he? But anyway, Thibaut Flamont, superb in the line-out. Really good ball carries. He was absolutely everywhere. And on the flip side, Cyril Cazot, who's been in the team of the week in a previous round for Bordeaux, his engine was unreal. He was just going around taking names in defence. Massive engine, massive effort, huge defensive shift, and a big part of why their pack got on top of Toulouse. In the back row, this was a tough one. I have shifted Josh van der Fleer across into the number 6 jersey. Could have been Jack Willis, could have been Josh Kemeny. There were other worthy candidates, but I thought Josh van der Fleer, out of the Leinster team, was the one guy that played somewhere near the level that you would expect of someone of his talent. And if the rest of the Leinster team had been on it as much as Josh van der Fleer was, then I suspect they might have got the W in Dublin. So I had to get him in the back row. Henry Pollock, Lisan al-Gaib, Lisan al-Gaib. He was prophesized. The prophecy is coming true if you're an England fan. What a talent. He answered the critics, which he got after the game against Castres with his little basketball celebration. Some people said, you wait. He won't be so cocky when he's playing against Josh van der Fleer. Man alive, 20 years of age. What a talent. What a future. And I mean, arguably, no, he'll have to be on the nominees of European Player of the Year. His performances in the Champions Cup, I think that was his 7th try in this year's campaign, and he's playing in a final in Cardiff, could be European Player of the Year. He's been incredible, and he was again. Pete Samu's not been too shabby either. An amazing try, good support play. He's so classy with the ball, soft hands, and that little lift for Louis Bielbiere to go away and score that try just in the second half. The decisive moment, the whole thing started with Pete Samu just being pure class. And I wonder how much Joe Schmidt is thinking, let's get him into the fold with Australia. And he might be thinking the same thing about Josh Kemeny, who I have got on the bench. Massive D, huge tackle count for Josh Kemeny. And I mean, he wasn't so prominent carrying the ball, but Northampton had lots of players doing that. He was one of the guys that just glued it all together with a massive defensive shift. And Joano Augustus on both sides of the ball. And a big question, Jasper Wiese is out for South Africa. He's injured. Elric Lowe is injured. Yes, they've got Cameron Hanekom. Yes, they've got no shortage of good back row players. But Joano Augustus, should Rassi Erasmus be looking at him for this summer? It would be amazing for Augustus if he could go and get that test match recognition as well before he moves to Ulster. He'll be hoping for an amazing farewell to Northampton Saints in Cardiff in that Champions Cup final. He'll be opposite and up against Maxime Lucu, who, my goodness me, is so important. Is there any individual player who is more important for their team than Maxime Lucu is for Bordeaux? Maybe Antoine Dupont for Toulouse. But that could just also be a reflection. I could just ask that in another way. Are there any better players around than Maxime Lucu? He's so important. And I think I made the phrase, and I'll stand by it after the game yesterday, you change the scrum halves around, you put Maxime Lucu in that Toulouse team and Paul Graou in the Bordeaux team, and I think Toulouse possibly win. That is how good Maxime Lucu is. And backing him up, Alex Mitchell, another brilliant performance. He's surely sealed his seat on the plane for the British and Irish Lions with that performance, as if there was any doubt, it was banished with that one. There was other good players at scrum half, but he's got to be one of them going to Australia. And talking of Andy Farrell's selections, can you look anywhere else but Finn Smith now? I think it could be at the expense of Sam Prendergast. It could be one or the other. Both inexperienced fly halves, both a similar age. They're both 22. There was one that looked like he can instantly handle the test match pressure and throw him in on a British and Irish Lions tour. And there's one guy that looked like he maybe still has a little bit of growing to do whilst having a very, very high ceiling potential. But Finn Smith just looks to the manner born. He's done it, let's not forget, away in Munster. Where was the other big away win that Northampton had? I completely forget now. Anyway, he's done it away in really, really different... Oh, away at the Bulls. That's right. Away in Munster, away at the Bulls, and now away at Leinster. If you want to know about someone's temperament and mentality when running their team, he's an absolute Iceman. Yoram Moefana gave Bordeaux a total focal point at inside centre. He was just the best of the midfielders on show in the semi-finals and really looked like it just gave Bordeaux go forward. Although Pierre-Louis Barassi at centre, Fraser Dingwall, I did think about shifting him into the 13 jersey, but I actually thought Barassi did really well, took his try well, defensively was great, made some breaks, and he was one little bit of a spark in that Toulouse backline that just wasn't supported enough by teammates. Louis Bielbiere, the guy's ridiculous. His try-scoring record this season, well, just in general, is outrageous. If you had to pick it right now, and again, we haven't seen any of the Southern Hemisphere teams play in 2025 yet, so a long way to go. And France, well, Louis Bielbiere won't be going to New Zealand But on the basis of the Six Nations we've seen, unfortunately for club rugby plays no part in it, but on the Six Nations and what you imagine he might be able to do in the autumn, World Player of the Year nominee in waiting, potentially. Long way to go. But he's at World 15 levels right now, as is Tommy Freeman, who talk about not being able to stop scoring. He scores every game for about the last dozen matches he's played. Just right place, right time, great rugby brain. He doesn't just finish off tries, and he was the first to say at least one of his tries, maybe two of them, he just kind of ran it in, finished the move that other people did. But he's quite often the catalyst that creates something from deep, out of nothing, which then he ends up being the man on the end of, and he was a catalyst for Northampton and just has that big-time temperament. A British and Irish Lions starting winger, if you had to select right now. And Romain Bourros, to finish the 15, I've got a couple more replacements to select. He's one of the few French fullbacks who's really good under the high ball. He has been injured a lot. I think he would have played in the Six Nations at fullback had he been fit. I know Leo Barret came in and did very well. Thomas Ramos has been there, but with Romain Ntamak struggling a little bit, with Jalabert and Galtier not seeing head-to-head, it could be a case that Ramos steps up to 10 and you chuck this guy at fullback, because Romain Bourros just tidied up everything. And in attack, he's pretty handy as well. So on the bench, I went for Matthew Jalabert. Could have been, he was man of the match in his game. I actually thought Luku was the best player on the pitch in that second semi-final. Picked Finn Smith just ahead of him, but Jalabert was outstanding. And Tommy O'Brien to finish off the 23. Really busy, great for Leinster, and he would have had Ireland caps and tries, I'm sure, to his name if he hadn't had injuries in the past. Hopefully he can stay injury-free, have a good summer tour with Ireland and kick on from there. And that is my team of the week for the semi-finals. Yes, only 2 games, only 92 players to select from. But out of those 92, I'm pretty happy with that. That shows 9 UBB players, 8 Saints, 4 from Toulouse, 2 from Leinster. In the starting lineup, more than half from Bordeaux, 4 from Northampton. I think that speaks to the level of performance to take apart Toulouse the way they did. Very, very impressive. And when you look at the names that are there in green, Pollock, Freeman, Mitchell, Augustus, Langdon, Smith, big players had big matches. And congratulations to both of those teams. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. As for the top 3 players overall, Tommy Freeman, bronze, amazing. Number 2, Maxime Luku. There's a lot of good contenders. Thought about Louis Bielbiere. No, he's not in it. I thought about Maxime Lamotte. He was so good. I have gone for Henry Pollock, player of the week. It was him or Luku. He's a proper talent. And he's going to a Champions Cup final. Let me know what you think. I'll see you on the next one. Will he go on the Lions tour, though? That's the big question.